Dude, the next 4 years are going to be wild, and this is why. So I was right in the middle of making a video about how Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is in quite a precarious position heading into the speakership vote on January 3rd, and as I was recording, I get a notification that Trump himself released a statement putting a lot of pressure on Speaker of the House Mike Johnson to act now, or else his entire bid for speakership will be knifed. And I want to remind you guys of the stakes here. If Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is not nominated on the 3rd, or not elected on the 3rd, then Trump will not be able to be certified on January 6th, because of course the Speaker of the House must be present, must be there to run the certification, and if Mike Johnson isn't voted on, if he gets denied, then Trump will not be able to be certified. I mean, the stakes are incredibly high, because I just want to remind you of what happened the last time Republicans had to choose a new Speaker of the House. It took 3 weeks. They had to vote 17 times before they landed on Mike Johnson, and now Trump is trying to apply more pressure. So drop a like on this video and double check to make sure you're subscribed to the Mockler channel below. We're trying to hit 1 million subscribers in 2025, and let's jump in with Trump's statement. So Ron Filipkowski from MeidasTouch points out, wow, days before the election for Speaker of the House, Trump crushes Mike Johnson, blames him for not fixing McCarthy's mess, and demanding he takes action even though it's too late. Let's read through this really quickly. So Donald Trump says, the extension of the debt ceiling by a previous Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, a good man and a friend of mine, from this past September of the Biden admin to June of the Trump admin, will go down as one of the dumbest political decisions made in years. Brutal. There was no reason to do it. Nothing was gained, and we got nothing for it. A major reason why that speakership was lost. It was Biden's problem, not ours. Now it became ours. I call it 1929 because the Democrats don't care what our country may be forced into. In fact, they would prefer depression as long as it hurts the Republican Party. That's not true. I'm not even going to point out the countless times Trump has called for a stock market crash because he thought it would help his re-election bid, the same way he tanked the border bill because he thought it would help his re-election bid. But he then says, the Democrats must be forced to take a vote on this treacherous issue now, during the Biden admin and not in June. They should be blamed for this potential disaster, not the Republicans. And again, this isn't just a simple statement. This is a direct threat to Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, because Kevin McCarthy was ousted as Speaker of the House after Trump's allies turned on him for failing to meet their demands, their high demands. So Trump is clearly signaling in this post that Johnson could face the same exact fate. Johnson could be next. And I was confused at first whether he was talking about McCarthy or Johnson, but he's pretty clearly talking about McCarthy, because he says, previous Speaker of the House, he says it was a dumb decision, and that's why the speakership was lost. And he even sets out the timetable that McCarthy did extend the debt ceiling for. So again, this is a direct threat against Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy. And when he says, quote, the Democrats must be forced to take vote on this treacherous issue now, it's Trump's way of weaponizing the debt ceiling, weaponizing it to set an agenda before the new Congress is even sworn in. Number one, it's a purity test. It's to see if Speaker of the House Mike Johnson will bend the knee after he made a deal with Democrats about a week ago. But he's also trying to create a political crisis for the Biden administration regardless of the fallout. And it's kind of funny here, because I just realized Trump claims that Democrats would be okay with a depression as long as it hurts Republicans, but he literally just tried to force the government into a straight-up shutdown right before the holidays, which would have hurt countless Americans because he knew it would reflect poorly on the Biden administration. Again, he tried to force a government shutdown, and he's trying to force another vote because he knows, he literally says in this post, this should happen now during the Biden administration and not in June. So he wants this to reflect poorly on Democrats when there's a bunch of fighting in Congress, while he's also claiming that Democrats don't care if they create chaos as long as it hurts Republicans. You guys see the irony right here, right? And again, this is more than just a policy critique of Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. This is a straight up power play. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson made the mistake. He made the mistake of actually cutting a deal with the Democrats about a week ago, which is how politics are supposed to work in America. Of course, we don't like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. We don't like him for many reasons, and he doesn't like the Democrats. But despite that, he was able to reach across the aisle and make a bipartisan deal with Democrats in the same way Biden was able to reach across the aisle and get Republicans to sign on to his bill. I mean, compromise. Compromise is how politics works, and Trump doesn't want any of that. This is just a small taste of the shit show that the next 4 years will be, and Donald Trump proves that loyalty is a one-way street. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, other Republicans can be as loyal as they want to Donald Trump, but if they aren't perfectly falling in line, he purity tests. He purity tests incredibly hard. And I want to pivot off this for 1 second to talk about Donald Trump's statement about former President Jimmy Carter, who passed away 2 hours ago. Rest in peace. He was a great president who focused a lot on human rights. He cared a lot about diplomacy across the globe and environmental conservation. Even though he was the president in 1977 to 1981, he was still talking about environmental conservation. This dude championed the Camp David Accords. He was an amazing president, and may he rest in peace. Yet Donald Trump, just an hour, less than an hour before he made this debt ceiling remark about Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, made a pretty weird statement about Jimmy Carter. I mean, in it you can see that he's trying to be a good person and say that he's sad, but he kind of just talks about himself. He just hypes himself up. Read what he said. He said, "I just heard the news about the passing of President Jimmy Carter. Those of us who have been fortunate enough to have served as president understand this is a very exclusive club, and only we can relate to the enormous responsibility of leading the greatest nation in history." How did the second sentence turn into just being solely about Trump being an exclusive club and being one of the best in the world because he is the president of the greatest nation in history? Just an odd way to open up a statement mourning President Jimmy Carter. He then says, "The challenges Jimmy faced as president came at a pivotal time for our country, and he did everything in his power to improve the lives of all Americans. For that, we all owe him a debt of gratitude." I mean, he attempts to be sweet in the rest of the statement, but it's not a weird line. Let me know in the comment section. Do you guys understand what I mean when he kind of pivots and immediately makes it about himself? And then let's check right now. So Donald Trump made this statement at 4:02 p.m. If you can see where I just zoomed in right here. He made this statement at 4:02 p.m. about former President Jimmy Carter. May he rest in peace. And then he makes this next statement about the debt ceiling at 4:17 p.m. if you can see where I just zoomed in. That means immediately after he sent that Jimmy Carter tweet, he began workshopping this tweet about Mike Johnson. Maybe he was even working on it at the time. He didn't even let any time pass before he started to threaten and strongman Speaker of the House Mike Johnson into putting up a vote on the debt ceiling. And the question is, what's going to happen over the next month? I mean, this is going to be incredibly interesting because on January 3rd, we have the new vote for the speakership. If there's any sort of battle, then Trump can't get certified on January 6th because there won't be a Speaker of the House, and then they won't be able to put up a vote on the debt ceiling. So what I'm thinking is that Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is likely going to win the speakership vote. Trump is not going to want to cause that much chaos. And then after Speaker of the House Mike Johnson wins, Trump is going to put an incredible, immense amount of pressure on Mike Johnson to put up a vote like he is now, or else he's going to follow the same fate as Kevin McCarthy. I mean, Trump says it right here. He's not hiding his intentions at all. Let me know what your guys' takeaway is from this. What's your analysis on this? I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Do you agree that he's trying to strong-arm Speaker of the House Mike Johnson by showing what happened to Kevin McCarthy? It very much so seems like that, and that's a very Trumpian tactic. Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.